everybody's talking about it. Could it be Take Two with Jerry and Debbie? Well, we sure hope so. We hope your week is starting off strong. It's a new week, new shows, new lineup of shows. And Jerry and I are hopefully, God willing, going to be traveling this week. We're going to be going to Cullman, Alabama, to St. Bernard's Prep School. And we're so excited to do the show on location there on Wednesday with the high schoolers, Jerry, and talk about just a close-knit group. St. Bernard School, so many of them come back after graduation and actually maybe even work there. I know that we were actually booked by Diana Urbina, who's an alum of St. Bernard's, and she went back to work there as the director of admissions. So how cool is that? That's what we're talking about today, close-knit families, and that's a family in and of itself.
Yeah, looking forward to being there, like Debbie said, on Wednesday, and that is just a little hint, hint, wink, wink, folks. If you want us to come out, we would be thrilled to do the show in your parish or for your local group in a school, for a Knights of Columbus Council. We love having you be part of the program when you call in and text and communicate via social media. But it would be even better for us to be able to come out there. We could do the show, and then in the evening we could do give talks or a presentation. We could visit high school classes. I think we're going to do that at St. Bernard's on Wednesday as well. So, yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, and if you would like to have us come out and be a part of anything that you have going on, just send us an email at take2 at EWTN.com.
Jerry, I think we're also doing Theology on Tap, which I'm very excited about. So our adults, young adults, and we get to be with them. That's a great way to spend just quality time and talk about things. We're going to be talking about purpose in life. And Theology on Tap is really a cool program, and I encourage other communities to embrace it because it really can help, especially those who have graduated from college and want to stay connected in youth ministry. And that's really what it is, an extenuation of youth ministry. Okay, I need to ask you a question because I'm always cracking up, Jerry, how certain words, it's like tomato, potato, okay? You just said St. Bernard's. Is it Bernard's or Bernard's? Which one is it?
I thought I said St. Bernard's.
No, I heard Bernard. Okay. All right. Okay, good.
Oh, maybe I did.
But how do you determine that? I'm just curious. You know everything.
I don't know that.
You don't?
Sorry. I know tomato, but I don't know Bernard.
So then, in other words, I could just say it either way and it wouldn't matter, right?
Right, yeah.
That's what close-knit families are all about. Thank you, Jerry, because you're like family. And that's what we're talking about today on Take Two, close-knit families. Is your family dynamics, it breeds beautiful emotional bonds that you really feel attached in a wonderful way, an emotional way with your siblings, your extended family. And one of the great things, the meme that we used, Jerry, for the show, the picture that we used to depict the show today, It is Jeff Burson, our social media expert. It is his family. And you can see in the picture, everybody's like really happy, smiling faces, and even putting arms around each other. And that, to me, is really beautiful to see that close-knit family. I believe it's a gift, Jerry. Not everybody gets to experience that. Sometimes you may have it might start off as a close-knit family, and then because of certain situations or even a death or something that has happened, a tragedy, it breaks apart the family and it changes. And that can be very painful. Or maybe growing up, you never really had a great, tight family bond, but you want to with your family that you're starting out with. So that's what we want to talk about today, your family dynamics. How are you creating a close-knit family? I look at your family, Jerry, and I think even though you guys all live miles apart, when you get together, you seem to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, we've stayed close, and I think the key is we hold on to the beautiful things that we have had as a family, as siblings. I'm talking about my siblings here, my sister and 4 brothers. You know, we hold on to the beautiful memories, and we all shared so many things growing up. We had 5 of us in a pretty small house, so we all shared bedrooms, and everybody played on the high school sports teams and everything. So we have all of that. But I think as we become adults, then you've got your philosophical differences, your political differences, your ideological differences. And I think what we have done is everybody knows where everybody stands, so we don't have to rehash it every time we all get together. And so when we do get together, I think we focus on the positives and the good times, and we all hope for the best for each other, and we pray for each other. And I think it really works out that way. But I would like to hear if there are other families, maybe it doesn't work out quite like that. So again, as Debbie said, we're talking about whether it's your sibling family, your siblings, it could be your immediate family, spouse and kids. Is it a close-knit group that you have? Do you like to do things together? Are you kind of on the same page when it comes to thinking alike and stuff like this? This is what we want to talk about here, because this could really raise awareness in a lot of people's minds and hearts. So the number is 1-800-585-9396, 800-585-9396. Where, Debbie, people can text or social media or many other ways to get a hold of us.
Yeah, texting is a great way to get a hold of us. You text the letters EWTN to 55000. You wait for a response, then you put in your first name, your question or comment, and Jerry and I will just place it right into the discussion at the appropriate time. Now, keep in mind that data rates may apply depending on your service plan, but we just wanted to give that little disclaimer up front so you're not shocked when you get the bill. Although I think it's worth it, because you get to weigh in on the conversation, and you could change a life by your take. And that's what Take Two is all about. It's not Take Two. It doesn't take two of us to do the show, although we do like to do it together. It's taking a second look at things. And that's what we're looking at today. Jerry, you brought something up that I thought was interesting. You talked about different philosophies, different ideas that the family members have. And let's also maybe get into boundaries. Do you have healthy boundaries with your family members, or is it unhealthy? I'll be the first to admit, in my family, and I've always blamed it on our Italian heritage, Jerry, and that's probably not the right thing to do, but I've always blamed it on that. We sometimes, in my immediate family, we don't have healthy boundaries. We kind of step in each other's world when we're not really welcome. And that's not good. So let's talk about that as well, because as Christians, we're called to really maintain that proper respect of everybody. And talking about respect, I totally respect our Take Two family, Jerry. They are amazing. You guys are amazing. When you email us and you share your heart with us, and then you also communicate with us like we are your best friends, that really warms our heart. So thank you. I feel like we're part of a great close-knit family, Jerry.
Well, and let's face it, from the time that we're kids and adolescents till we're adults, dynamics change. What I mean, one example of that is when you're in school, say you're going to a new school, but you have two older siblings who go there. Well, you want to hunt them out. You want to find them. You want to stay close to them because they know the ropes and you're new and you're a little bit kind of lost in the hallways and so forth. Or you play together on athletic teams, or you're in clubs together, or what have you. But like I said, Deb, and everybody's been through this. If you're over the age of 18 or have moved out of your parents' house, you know that maintaining those sibling relationships, it happens with different dynamics as we go forward, because everybody tries different things. They take different paths, go to different schools, and maybe, like I said, even develop different ways of thinking about things. So how do we keep the family close together, or do you? Maybe you have some challenges in that regard, and you'd like to share your take that really could help another family who's listening right now. 800-585-9396.
Okay, so we're going to hit the pause button, and when we come back, we're talking about close-knit families. We want you, if you're prompted by the Spirit, we say this almost every show, that means the Holy Spirit's nudging you just a bit to dial this number, 1-800-585-9396. Share with us today, teach us today, your family dynamics. It could help us. It could change a life. It could change a family. This is Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. We'll be right back.
This is Cy Kellett. Join me for Catholic Answers Live. It's 2 hours dedicated to Catholic apologetics and evangelization. Designed for Catholics and non-Catholics alike, it's your opportunity to hear from and talk with some of the leading apologists and theologians in the church today. You've got questions? We've got Catholic Answers. Catholic Answers Live, weekdays, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on EWTN Radio.
EWTN Religious Catalog is your online destination for Catholic books, DVDs, rosaries, devotionals, and more. And every purchase directly supports EWTN's mission. Ready to shop? Visit EWTNRC.com today.
60 on 10 with Monsignor Charles Pope.
The sixth commandment, you shall not commit adultery. This commandment is wide-ranging in its implications. It forbids us not only from committing the very act of adultery, but also other sexual sins such as fornication or premarital sex, watching pornography, and speaking lewdly. Likewise, homosexual acts and acts of masturbation are also forbidden us. And the Lord himself even enjoins us to a purity of mind that we should not freely entertain lustful thoughts. And so it's wide-ranging, it's challenging, but it's in service of the great sacredness of human life which comes from sexual activity. So we thank God for this great gift of sexuality, and we ask for his grace to live it with great reverence. The sixth commandment, you shall not commit adultery.
EWTN. Live truth. Live Catholic.
Hi, this is Dan Burke from the National Catholic Register.
Hello, this is Bishop David O'Connell of the Diocese of Trenton.
Hi, this is Teresa Tomeo, host of Catholic Connection, and thanks for listening to the EWTN Global Catholic Radio Network.
Take two with Jerry and Debbie, and you and your takes are the ones that count here. Debbie and I share a few little thoughts, and then we want to have you just really help one another, a kind of a peer-driven ministry on this show at 800-585-9396. Let's go to Ben. He is up first listening to EWTN Radio on Guadalupe Radio in Texas. Hi, Ben. Welcome to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. You're up first.
Hi, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
I just wanted to share the story of my family. I'm the third oldest of 9. And we're all really closely connected and go out and do things together, and just a lot of love and respect in the family. Whenever my mom's asked about our family and how we have such a beautiful family, she'll actually say it's not her, and it's the Blessed Mother. She's dedicated each of us to the Blessed Mother because she knows she's not a perfect mother.
Well, I was going to ask, Ben, as soon as you said you had 9 kids and you said you were all close, I was going to ask or comment on the fact that there must have been, some element, probably a strong faith background in your family. And you really answered any question I might have had by saying that your mother consecrated all of you to the Blessed Mother at each of your births, I presume. And Debbie, I know you've seen families like this before. It really does require supernatural grace, I think, for a human family to, we can all be very, very close on a natural level, but to have that really deep, total bond that you're, even when you're apart, you sort of long to be together, that kind of thing. It comes from a spiritual bond, I think.
I couldn't agree more. Absolutely. Ben, and what you said too, I thought was really beautiful when you said we have respect for one another, and that is so important in a family. Ben, you are blessed. The Blessed Mother did a great job helping your mom out in raising your 9. You're one of 9 brothers and sisters, and here's the thing: that is a gift that you have, because not everybody has that. And I pray that, it sounds like, because you acknowledged it and you called in, I pray that your siblings feel the same way, that you guys are really blessed in your family.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
yeah.
Beautiful. Okay, so Ben, I have to do this. I get a kick out of this with big families. I did it with Jerry when I first met him. He probably doesn't remember. Okay, Ben, so start from the top and whip off all the first names of your family members. Go.
No.
All right. So my parents are Brent and Andrea, and then going down, it's Amanda, Blake, Ben, Anne-Marie, Alyssa, Brandon, Adriana, Brian, and Bowden.
Very
Beautiful.
Good. I love it. Did your mom and dad do what my parents did too? When we were getting scolded or something, they would run through 5 different names before they hit our name. Did that ever happen to you?
That definitely did.
All right, Ben. Thanks a lot, man. You helped to make a great show today so far. Appreciate your call, Ben. Thanks for listening to Guadalupe Radio and EWTN Radio. All right, talking about close-knit families today. Do you enjoy that? Ben and his family, it sounds like they sure do. Maybe you have, and it's become a little less close-knit, or maybe you were distant from your immediate family or relatives, and that's turned around, and now you do enjoy a closeness that you didn't have. We'd love to have you share that with our listeners. 800-585-9396.
Or how about this? Maybe your friends have become your family, and you've chosen that route because it brings you much more peace and comfort and a better spiritual life. I know I have. My friends have always been in my life from day one, and I've been blessed abundantly. And they're really what I would call a family to me. So maybe that's the dynamic. Okay, Tanya, you are up next. You are listening to EWTN Radio in Minnesota on Real Presence Radio. Hi, Tanya. Welcome to Take Two.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Tanya.
Can you hear me? I'm kind of in a bad spot.
Yeah, we got you just fine. Go right ahead.
Great. I listen to you guys' show occasionally, and I think it's really great what you guys do. This morning's topic really hit me because I'm from a family of 13. I'm number 9, and we kind of have this friendly family split going on, so we refer to each other as the older half and then the younger half. So we kind of had like this kind of like a generational split. So when the older half all grew up and moved out, then the younger half was left. And so it's kind of like there's two families within our family. And for our family, faith has played a huge role. The rosary played a huge role. We pray the rosary together all the time in the morning and then usually in the evening together as a family. And then one thing I really remember about our family doing, Ben had mentioned earlier, it was an earlier caller, but our family did that too. We were all consecrated to the Immaculate Heart of Mary. And then as we would graduate and we would move out, Mom and Dad would have each kid pick a prayer that we would pray for each member of the family. And so, like, one family member would pick the St. Michael prayer, and they'd leave. So then at the end of the rosary, we would add the St. Michael prayer. And then as each kid left, so eventually there's like 13 prayers at the end of the rosary, and so we always kind of laugh that the ending prayers are as long as the rosary itself. But that was something that really knit us close together. And like, I remember I'd like be praying a Hail Mary, and I'd be thinking about the family member that represented, and like hoping that their day went well. And so we were just kind of really close knit. And as we've grown, our family's grown. They've all kept the faith, and we're kind of, a lot of us are really strong personalities. We got this German gene going on. But we also have maintained that level of respect. But if we don't agree with each other, we know it, and sometimes we can get very obnoxious about letting each other know that we don't agree. But then at the end of the conversation, it's like, oh, well, we don't agree, oh well, even though we've been arguing for like 5 minutes, and we could be yelling, but it doesn't, we know that we're not attacking each other at a deep level. It's just the opinion that we're batting back and forth. So we still maintain that level of respect. We're just very loud about it. But ultimately, God doesn't change. The morality doesn't change. We have that in common, and that's hopefully never going to change, and we're constantly praying that it doesn't, because our family has extended, and I have 49 nieces and nephews now, so it's continuing to grow. And in fact, I'm on my way to babysit 9 of them right now. So.
Well, Tanya, let me, I would guess you said you have kind of, I don't know how you put it, sort of a split family among your siblings, because I think you said there were 13, and that's going to happen because by the time the youngest is born, the oldest may be even out of the house or close to being out of the house and so forth. I know a family who actually, for different reasons, had a gap between, they have 4 kids, and they had a gap between the second and the third for various reasons, and so the older 2 and the younger 2 feel like they're each closer to each other and don't have maybe a bond between, the older and the younger don't have that same bond. I'm sure that wasn't the case in your family. It's just because of the number of kids that you have, I would presume. Is that right?
Yeah, I would say so. I remember when the last of the older half moved out, And I remember getting together with I'm number 9, so it would be number 8 and number 9, got together and we were like, do you feel like there's this shift going on? We don't really know the older half. She's like, yeah. So we got together for like 2 years, and all of us kids, the younger half kids, would all get together and we write a portion of a newsletter of what was going on at the farm, the goofy things that were happening, what movies we were into, what music we were into, and stuff like that. And once a month, we'd put this newsletter together, print it off, and we'd mail it out to the older half so they knew what was going on at home. So, like, we didn't have to feel this big shift. And what was really fun was some of them started putting together their own newsletter and sending it out to us so that they could let us know what was going on. So that was really neat. It was kind of a bonding thing for us, too. But, yeah, there were some things that we had to kind of, your older brothers make you nervous because they're these big guys and they're older, and you just kind of have to step up to that and be like, he's my brother. Hey, he's my bro,
Cool.
And kind of get past that shyness.
You guys got very creative. I'm enjoying this so much, Tanya. I'm soaking it all in, going, I want to be part of this family. Okay, so we're just going to have fun. I can't leave out other large families. First of all, I just want to say I love it how those of us who are born in large families, we give ourselves a number. It's almost like I'm number 6. No, I'm number 9. I think that is hilarious. So, okay, so Tanya, we give out a virtual award. Usually it's a patience award. And our virtual awards we think they're quite creative because they're make-believe. It's up to your imagination. So, okay, Jerry and I will give you a virtual Take 2 award if you can list real quickly all 13 without stumbling. Go.
Teresa, Tammy, Trina, Stephen, Tiffany, Michael, Leo, Trisha, Trona, Cedar, Tyra, Tara, Mark.
She got it.
We've had that race so many times in our family.
I almost couldn't make out the names, Jerry, but that was great. Tanya gets it, okay? She gets our virtual award. Way to go, Tanya. What a beautiful story. Your family is blessed, and I hope the whole family gets to listen to the show and just enjoy this because you represented your family well, Tanya.
No, very good. Well, thanks for having the question.
All right. Thanks, Tanya. Appreciate it. 800-585-9396. And again, you're welcome to call in if that is not your story. Again, maybe you want to say that your family perhaps has not remained that close-knit, or you've had close relationships and maybe that has splintered a little bit, or perhaps you were distant and now you feel a little bit closer with some of your family. 1-800-585-9396. Or if you're like Debbie, if you say maybe you have friends who are more like family than your family. This is what we want to have this conversation, because obviously family is so very important, but given human nature and all of that, it just takes on different forms in so many instances. So please join us, 1-800-585-9396. Christy, we're going to go to you right after Kathy. Kathy is listening to EWTN Radio on Real Presence Radio in Fargo. Hi, Kathy. You are up next on Take 2. Welcome.
Hello. Thanks for taking my call. I was fascinated by your previous caller being one of 13 kids. I am also one of 13.
Wow.
I am number 2 of 13.
Wow, that is amazing.
Our story is somewhat similar. We've got 22-year age difference between my older sister and my youngest brother. We kind of have, the big kids, the older kids, then the middle kids, and then the little kids. And it is like there are different families. Different groups of kids have different memories, different stories. My father passed away quite young. He was hit and killed in a bike accident. The youngest was about 4, and the oldest was right around 23, 24. And so those little kids grew up without my dad. We older kids had my
Kathy,
for those years.
Kathy, can we just interrupt you just for one moment? You hear that music. This is the one break we have to take, but we are sitting on the edge of our seats wanting to listen to the rest of your family story. So if you can stay with us, we're going to take that quick break on Take 2 with Jerry and Debbie, and we'll be right back.
know you like listening to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie on EWTN Radio, but have you thought about bringing them to your next event? No matter what type of event you're hosting, parish mission, conference, or retreat, trust Jerry and Debbie to make it come alive. Begin the process today of taking your presentation to the next level of success. For information on booking Jerry and Debbie, visit take2show.com, click on the J&D logo.
The Holy Father's prayer intention for the month of January is that all Christians may be faithful to the Lord's teaching by striving with prayer and fraternal charity to restore ecclesial communion and by collaborating to meet the challenges facing humanity.
Welcome to an EWTN Bookmark Brief. I just finished interviewing Chantel Howard about her book, The School of the Family. Now, Chantel, tell us, what is this book about?
I wrote The School of the Family with the intention of sharing through the avenue of a story as well as deep reflection the different elements of the family from childhood to motherhood and beyond, and how the school of the family, literally as God designed it, is the place where we get to be formed in our faith and our identity and our Catholic identity really takes on shape. And we have to really understand that the school of the family is not something that we can run from. It's part of our life.
Now, when you say school, a lot of people don't like school. Is this something that will help them, that they will like, or should they be afraid of it?
Oh, you'll love it.
Sounds good. And A Renaissance of Catholic Formation, The School of the Family. Chantel Howard, thank you so much. Books available through the EWTN Religious Catalog. Look for the entire interview coming soon to EWTN's Bookmark. And this has been an EWTN Bookmark Brief, and I'm Doug Keck. Thanks for joining us.
Hello, this is Bishop Ronald Gaynor of the Diocese of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
This is Michael Warsaw, Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of EWTN.
This is Father Mitch Pacwa. Thanks for listening to the EWTN Global Catholic Radio Network.
We're glad you're with us for Take Two on EWTN Radio. We were not live on Friday, but boy, oh boy, was that a March for Life to remember. I've heard estimates anywhere up to 800,000 people and all-day coverage on EWTN Radio and television. God bless all of you who went to the March for Life and those who couldn't. Hope you were able to watch at least part of it, because what a beautiful event, and you can almost feel the tide turning a little bit. Vice President Mike Pence was there. President Trump said, "You have my full support. Let us pray, pray, pray that we really will see a sea change in this battle for human life in our country." To be on the program today as we talk about close-knit families, speaking of life and families and kids and so forth, we're talking about, is your family a close-knit family? 1-800-585-9396. And Debbie, we had Kathy in Fargo. And Kathy, sorry for the interruption there. You're not the first one we had to jump in on there, and you won't be the last, so we apologize. But go ahead and fill out the remainder of what you wanted to share.
Oh, I'll just kind of comment on, the age difference and different memories, different recollections that each group of kids has. And we really try and pay attention to each other, and we older kids can say, "Oh, we did this with Dad," or "Mom would do this." And the younger kids, the little kids, would say, "We never knew that. We never had that." And so we try and be sensitive to the different age groups. A few years ago, we were at a family reunion on my dad's side of the family, and I heard from my mother say for the first time that after my dad died, she was worried that we would not be close, that we would not stay close. And she was so grateful that we did stay close. And it's an effort. We make a concerted effort to stay close. We make a concerted effort not to push each other's buttons when we're together. And my one brother has created a website for 13 kids, and so we can keep each other up to date, as a group, but yet still be private, and we can share prayer requests or struggles, difficulties, good thoughts. We can share family photos that someone has just come up with. So we use that as a way of communicating because we are kind of spread across the country. But we really, really treasure and enjoy our big family and thank our parents for that.
What a beautiful story. And Kathy, we're so sorry of the loss of your dad in such a tragic way. I mean, that had to really impact the family, but the beauty of it is that his legacy goes on in his wonderfully large family of 13 kids. Can you share your dad's first name? We'd love to enter him into our book because we pray for the living and the deceased.
Both my parents are now deceased, Don and Louise.
Don and Louise, got it. They're in the book.
Right.
They were in the Take Two family prayer book. So we just thank you so much. I love that you said you're number 2, right?
Yes, and my mother a few years ago had had a massive stroke during some surgery. We all rallied around. Mom was pretty much never alone. There was always one of us that was available, to visit, to check up on her. We feel like we took really good care of Mom at the end. And my oldest sister died a couple years ago very suddenly of brain cancer. She was diagnosed 1 month and she passed away 2 months later. And we came together again, to support each other and to support, my sister and her family.
Right.
So,
Kathy, your sister's name, real quick, because I just have the book open. Your sister's name that passed?
Julie.
Julie, okay. So she was the oldest of the family.
Yes, so now I'm the oldest.
Now you're the oldest. Well, you're doing a beautiful job keeping the family going. And like you said, what a great testament. What a great witness to all of us, the Christian witness that you were to your mom when she needed you most. And I think that kind of wakes all of us up, though, especially those of us who are part of big families that aren't close-knit. Maybe it kind of can wake us up saying, we need to step up our game here as a family like your family did, Kathy, and does in a beautiful way. So thank you for being an example to all of us.
Should I run down the names?
Absolutely. I was saving that for last. I didn't want to put you on the spot, but you got it. I know the first one is Julie and then it's Kathy. So we got that, but go ahead. Start from the top.
Julie, Kathy, Don, Tom, John, Maggie, Patrice, Bill, Mary, Jim, Joe, Ann, and Michael.
Beautiful.
Wow. I think Kathy, you can share that the virtual Take Two award. Go ahead, Jerry.
Well, I was going to say I have 4 siblings, and I'm not sure I could do that. There's only 5 of us. So, Kathy, thank you. And again, I join Debbie in sharing condolences on the loss of your parents now and your older sister, and just pray that you and your remaining siblings would just have many, many more years together of closeness and health and happiness and joy and peace, and hopefully all, God willing, be rejoicing together in that eternal paradise of heaven someday. So, Kathy, thank you so much. Thank you very much for being part of our program today. We appreciate that. And we'll let you go now on that. 1-800-585-9396. Right quickly before we get to Christy, I do want to mention, though, you mentioned, Debbie, that, when your parents would go through the house wanting one of you for presumably a disciplinary matter, and they'd run through the litany of names. Well, my mom and dad had a very special problem, and they created it because my sister's name was Mary, but then the boys are all Jerry, Joe, John, Jim. All start with J's. So, mom would be John, Joe, Jim, whichever one you are, get over here.
Oh, my goodness, that is hilarious. So they created that problem.
They created the problem, and we just exacerbated it for them. Yeah. So, all right, Christy, thank you. You get our Patience Award today, listening to EWTN Radio in Dallas on Guadalupe Radio. Hi, Christy. Thank you for being so patient today. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Good.
Love this topic. I grew up with a mom who just there were 4 of us. We were very little. She was very emotionally abusive, a bit physical abusive. And so we were just always terrified and walking around on eggshells. And as we all grew up and tried to escape from home as adults, we all moved far, far away. And people might have, think that we would be close to like survival, but no, everybody was kind of like in their own survival mode. And so I just watched a lot of families going, oh, wow, if I could find one that was really close and try to observe them and say, wow, that is amazing. How do they do that? So it was a long, long, long time before I had children because I thought, I don't want to repeat what my mom did. And so I just want to point out that moms who are listening, if you lose your temper a lot, it's going to impact your children lifelong. Please, please, please find help. But one of the things that I want to say that each of my siblings, we all moved far away, and we each did have family, and we did not repeat what my mother did. We each tried very, very hard, and each of us have loving families. I'm so happy to see none of us repeated those same mistakes. And one of the things that really helped me was when I had my second child, my mom actually sent me a book. I don't know if you ever read it. It was called Siblings Without Rivalry. And in that book was so many stories of people who were so wounded from their childhood that really brought it to my forefront of like, I really need to get this right from the beginning. And so I spent a lot of time thinking about it and meditating on what to do. And I said, well, what I really got from all those stories was that my house has to be a refuge. Our home has to be a refuge where my children find acceptance and love and nurturing from the rest of the world, and that they have to treat each other with respect. And I just made that my mission. I said, I don't care if you don't love your brother or sister or like them, you will respect them and you will treat them well. And eventually it did grow into love and fun between them all. And I just loved that. I just loved that when my girls were teenagers and they finally each got their own room. I mean, like every third night they'd say, can my sister sleep in my room? I really miss her. And I just love that because they just want to talk after the lights are out. And so it's, so I've got a split. So I've got 3 older ones that are adults, and I'm amazed by the grace of God that they're living and loving God and showing that in their marriages and their vocations. And then I still got 2 teens at home that I'm praying for constantly. But they're really, it just is amazing how that can work out. And I guess a lot of it was also, my husband was in the military, and so going back to what Debbie said, your friends can become family. And that really was so true for us because we were 3,000 miles from his family and my family, and we had to learn to rely on the people around us. And it was a wonderful environment, even if your neighbor was only there for 1 year or 3 years, that you helped each other. You helped out. If one could call up and say, I have to run my child up to the clinic, or he got injured, right, and can you watch my other kids? And it was great. If somebody was moving out, you'd say, send your kids over to me for the day while you're packing and getting set up. And then somebody would do the same for you, and it was your turn to move. And it was wonderful. It was a wonderful experience.
You had that support. You had that community support. And we all need that when we're raising our kids. We need that support. Christy, I just wanted to say real quickly, jump in. You have a fascinating story. I know Jerry gave you the Take-Two Patience Award, the virtual Patience Award, but we also do a thing on Take-Two where we pick short takes at the end of the show, and then we go ahead and post them on EWTN Catholic Radio Facebook page. And by the way, dear listeners, please like us on Facebook, EWTN Catholic Radio Facebook. We're trying to get up to 12,000 likes, but we vote at the end of the show, and I'm just going to tell you up front, I have a feeling Jerry and I are going to cast our votes for your story because I think we have a lot to learn from your story. You came from a situation that, growing up, if I can deem it with all respect, a little bit dysfunctional, and so you chose to break that pattern with your family, and that's what we're called to do. We're called to change things, not keep that same cycle going and just create more and more damage to ourselves and to those people around us. You chose to change it, and look what has happened. God has blessed your family abundantly to where your family is close, and Jerry said it. He actually texted it over to me while you were talking. He goes, boy, you can hear the joy in her voice. Yes. And that's what it should be in families. That safe haven, that beautiful joy that you are exhibiting right now as you're talking about your family and your children. You're blessed. You're absolutely blessed. And I'm sorry that your upbringing was a difficult one. But I'm happy that the end of the story is turning out so beautifully. So, Jerry?
I could not add to anything else on that, what you just said, Debbie. Christy, was there anything else you wanted to add to your beautiful testimony?
Yes, just to any moms who are listening out there, your impact is so powerful. I found this out on a retreat. We went for a couple hours, a women's group to a Benedictine, and resort monastery, and our speaker was an 89-year-old monk, and he was telling us about growing up back in Belgium in the late 1880s or 90s at the time, and he talked about his mom, and later after he left, one of the women said, see the impact of a mother? Here he is, 89, still talking about when he was a small child. So moms out there, please love your kids and show them love. Don't think it's going to spoil them. Hug them and kiss them and say, I love you.
That's beautiful, Christy. God bless you. Have a beautiful and blessed day, as Debbie likes to say, and thank you for joining us here from Dallas on Guadalupe Radio on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. All right, got a couple more calls we're going to get to here. Just want to also get a plug out there. When I was speaking of close-knit families and growing up, I shared a bedroom with my brother Joe growing up. He's the next in line, and then John and Jim, the two youngers, shared a bedroom themselves. My sister Mary got her own bedroom, and all the boys had to share bedrooms. But anyway, I bring it up because we would listen to, we had records back then, for those of us old enough to remember vinyl, 45s and LPs, and Joe and I would turn the lights out, and then we would go to bed listening to comedy, like Richard Pryor and George Carlin and Steve Martin, and some stuff that I look back now and there was some objectionable stuff in there, but we were kids. But anyway, Steve Martin had this comedy bit, and he would say, let's talk today about what to do if you had $1 million. He goes, first, get $1 million, then. And I bring that up because I want to tell you folks, if you don't have Catholic radio in your area, first, get a radio station, then. But really, it is that easy. It is that easy because it's not all that easy getting a radio station. But if you do the fundraising, get a group of like-minded people together, you can obtain a radio station. Folks, it's serious. A lot of people, Debbie, people who are starting Catholic radio stations are mortgage bankers, home builders, dental equipment lab operators. Folks, these are not people who've been in secular media for 40, 50 years and saying, well, hey, I think I'll go try this Catholic radio thing. What it is, it's people with a passion for evangelization. Maybe don't know the first thing about starting a radio station, but guess what? There's good news. EWTN knows what you don't know. And so all you have to do is call EWTN and say, hey, we don't have a Catholic station in our area. I'd like to help get one. What kind of resources can you provide me? And you're going to be blown away. Debbie, you know how it is. EWTN is like a full-service help shop to get a local Catholic radio station on the air. Sorry, that went on a little bit long, but
not at all.
I'm excited. I'm passionate about.
Absolutely, you sold me. I want to go find areas in Arizona that don't have a local station, and then call EWTN, and hopefully we can get one started. Okay, just real quickly, can I just go back real quickly to Christy's story because it just jogged my memory on something, because everybody knows, I think, by now on the Take Two family, I didn't grow up in a Leave It to Beaver family. We had a lot of dysfunction that happened in our family. But I did a similar thing that Christy did. I tried to break the cycle, and I have to say I'm really proud of my two boys. I just want to say that I have two boys, and they're 6.5 years apart, and I've never seen it. Now I know it possibly could have happened behind closed doors when I was in the kitchen or something like that, but my boys have never hit each other in an argument, punched each other, hurt each other. They're very protective of each other. And in fact, they're so beautifully respectful of each other that I'm in awe of them and their relationship. And I just wanted to say that it does work. It does work. You heard it in Christy's story. It worked in her family to break the chain, break the cycle. And you can do that and have just a beautifully blessed family. Okay, Beth, you're listening to EWTN Radio in Houston, Texas on Guadalupe Radio Network. Hi, Beth. Thanks for waiting. Welcome to Take Two.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
The family you just described is a little bit my family, the dysfunctional part, but they're not who I called to talk about. I called to talk about the beautiful family that I married into. 4.5 years ago, probably 6 years ago, I met my husband online on Catholic Match, and we got married, but my first impressions of his family were, wow, I've never met a family that truly loves each other as much as this family does. And there are 8 of them. He's number 4, my husband. And every interaction with them has just been so blessed and so beautiful. And they've brought me in like I was one of the sisters. There's 5 girls and 3 boys. And the love that they have for one another is just, it's just amazing. And I feel so blessed to be a part of it. As we speak, all of the siblings are sort of descending upon Lafayette, Louisiana. Actually, several of them have been there already, but one of the sisters, Mary, has been struggling with breast cancer for about 5 years. You may remember she actually called your show, I think, the day that David Bowie died, and she was talking about praying for people that you feel compelled to pray for.
Right.
But she's not doing so great, and so all of the siblings are headed there to be support for Mary, and she's got 3 beautiful children. One of her children was in the March for Life this weekend, but their mom and dad were, the dad was a principal. He's still living. He's actually in the hospital with pneumonia right now, but he's 90 years old. He was a principal. Mom was a teacher, and every summer they would pile all the kids in the station wagon and travel around the country to all the different states. And this is, kind of a picture of how they became so close. But again, I'm just so blessed to be a part of it, and it's just such a beautiful thing to see a family that really does love each other like this family.
Yeah, Beth, so much either Debbie or I could say. First of all, we're going to be praying. I'm going to specifically ask my Mary to pray for your Mary. My Mary is my sister, in case you didn't hear. She is at home on hospice with a very rare form of cancer with just weeks to live. I hope that's not the case with your sister-in-law. I hope that she is able to recover. But my sister, it looks like, unless we get a miracle, is going to go to the Lord here soon. And she has basically said, bring me prayer intentions, and she's offering what she's going through for anything that comes to her attention. So I'm going to certainly mention your Mary to her. And in addition to that, I would just say, you mentioned the difficulties you had in your family of origin, and my family was much that way as well. With there was divorce and sibling rivalries and all that stuff, but God has given you this additional, I don't want to say a new family, but an additional family, one that I have to believe, and I hope and pray, Beth, has been healing for you. It sounds like it has, because you have established such emotional ties and connections with the family that you married into. I don't know. Am I wrong, Beth? I would have to believe that it has really helped to heal a lot of your past experiences.
Yeah, my only regret is I have 3 grown sons, and they all are close to my husband, their stepdad, but there aren't opportunities for my 3 grown sons to interact with my husband's family, and I just wish so much that they could see how beautiful it is, because my family of origin is kind of fragmented, and so, my son's interaction with them, they don't really see that strong family unit as an example, and so that's my one thing I wish. And thank you for your prayers for Mary and for the patriarch of the family. They're just very much appreciated. And we don't know, her circumstance may be similar to your sister Mary, but we're still praying for that miracle. And, praying to our mother Mary too, and to Jesus, because we know he's got it all worked out.
Right.
That's right.
Beth, thank you for blessing us today with your call and sharing. I think there's no accident that we have Jerry's sister, Mary, in probably just a few minutes after Jerry finishes the show, be praying for your sister-in-law, Mary. There's no accident to that. Oh, Jerry's texting her right now.
I'm texting her husband right now, yeah.
You're texting? Okay.
Not going to waste a moment.
There you go. So God works in great ways, and if this show can be one of the avenues where we connect each other and become that family, then it's meant to be. And thank you, Beth. You contributed today to the Take Two family, and you helped us grow. Okay, have a beautiful rest of your day, Beth. And let's go to Allison real quickly. I think we only got, 90 seconds, Jerry? Is that true? Oh,
yeah, about 90 seconds, yeah.
About 90 seconds. Okay, Allison, so sorry. If you can do it quick, we just wanted to get you in. You're listening in Arlington, Texas on Guadalupe Radio Network. Hi, Allison.
Hi. So I'm the third oldest of 9, and I'm actually dating the first caller, who's the third oldest of 9, Ben.
Oh, that is hilarious. Does he know you called in?
Yeah, we're actually sitting together in the car.
Oh, wow. One of you drives safely.
Yes, he is driving while I talk.
2 big families. Wow. Okay,
yes,
so tell us about yours.
My family's a little bit different from his, though. My family, the oldest is 29, and the youngest is 5. And there's a 10-year age gap between the first and the third, and then a 6-year age gap between the third and the fourth. So the dynamics of the family are really different. But we've stayed fairly close, and the older 3 of us are closer to our younger siblings in a way that's not really a sibling relationship. It's more of almost a parental relationship for the younger siblings, because we've had to help raise them with different illnesses in the family. My mom was really sick for about 5 years. And so the closeness to the younger 6 siblings is more of
like a
that
parent.
parental love,
Sure,
just raising them up in that way.
Well, that made you really mature quickly, I presume.
Definitely did.
Yeah. I think this is so awesome. That's so cool that Ben would call in, and then Allison, you would feel prompted by the Spirit to call in. I think you guys are just adorable. I mean, that's so sweet that you're doing that together and calling in. Here's the thing. What's wonderful about families is every especially big families, they're so different. The dynamics are completely unique to each and every family. And today we got to have a glimpse into your family life. And Allison, thank you for sharing that. Allison and Ben, drive safely. Jerry?
Yeah, Alan in Indiana, wish we had time to get to you, sir. Unfortunately, you hear the music, we are out of time. And any other callers or comments, we just ask you to join us tomorrow on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. We're going to be back. We're going to ask you, what's your favorite book in the Bible? All right, so if you're familiar with the good book and you've got a particular book or section of the Bible that you like to read, pray about, study, share with others, that's our topic for tomorrow.
So we want you to stay tuned in all day long on EWTN. Until tomorrow, Jerry and I want to wish you a beautiful and blessed day. See you real soon.